Hello guys, I will tell you my story today. It is about a lot of people, but mostly my sister-in-law, Nikki. I should tell you at the very beginning that Nikki actually used to be my best friend. We grew up pretty close and her family is literally like my family. After like 25 years of friendship, I had really thought that she and I would remain best friends forever. That was until I caught her in bed with my husband, Jace. I yelled and cried while Jace looked a little embarrassed. However, Nikki looked smug and took her sweet time in dressing up and leaving the house. Once I caught Jace cheating, I knew my marriage was over. Jace made some horrible excuses about how Nikki came on to him strongly and he didn't push her away because he was feeling neglected by me. Those were complete lies, and even Jace knew it. I didn't bother lamenting our relationship because he had proven himself to be a disgusting man. Our marriage was ending anyway, and I had no interest in dealing with him anymore. But I did confront Nikki about what she did. She was supposed to be my best friend, and we knew each other way before we knew Jace. So I met up with her one day and said, "How could you do this to me, Nikki? We were best friends for almost 2 decades. What does that have to do with what happened? It's not my fault that your husband liked me more than you. You know that I am the better option out of the two of us." "How dare you, Nikki? You had no regard for our friendship and had no problem cheating with my husband behind my back. You don't even look remorseful." "Why would I be remorseful? You were just jealous that Jace loves me more than you. You couldn't keep your man, so this is your fault. Jace is mine now, and we love each other. He even promised me as soon as he divorces you." Wow. Amazing, Nikki. I've just realized that I have been calling a snake my best friend. I hope you stay happy with him, because otherwise you would have lost your best friend of over 20 years for nothing. "Oh, don't worry, Ella. Jace and I will be very happy. I will have the best life with him, and all you will do is watch. I'll give you some advice, Ella. Next time, find a man on your level. A rich, handsome man will never stay with you and always cheat on you because you will never be enough." I had no idea why I had considered this woman my best friend. It was like I was seeing a different side of her. When I got married to Jace, she did make a lot of comments about how rich and handsome he is and how she wished she would get a husband like him. But then I had told her that she would find her partner soon. She did find a partner, but it was my husband who she stole from me. From that day, I refused to ever consider her my best friend. I don't think Nikki cared. She was too busy sleeping with Jace and being happy about how she stole my man. When the affair was exposed, everyone started to berate Nikki and Jace. Nikki's own family were mad at her and had cut her off for a while. Her brother Lucas gave me a lot of support and helped me get a divorce lawyer. He knew me from his childhood and was pissed that his own sister could do something like this to me. He gave me all of his support and was by my side while I went through a very tough time in my life. With my closest friend betraying me and my husband running off to her, I had no one to fall back on. During this time, Lucas and I became close and started to date after I finally got a divorce from Jace. Some people will think that I was treating Lucas as a rebound, but that's not true. I waited a whole year after my divorce, after which I started to have a relationship with Lucas. Things progressed well, and we ended up getting married 2 years later. Lucas and I knew each other all through our lives, so this wasn't a problem at all. We had a pretty good bond and ended up having an even better marriage. I must say that he is far better than my ex-husband, and I am truly happy right now. Jace and Nikki got married literally immediately after my divorce. I didn't even care because I thought they deserved each other. Nikki had the gall to send me an invite to their wedding that I promptly ignored. She wasn't invited to Lucas and my wedding because she started to throw a tantrum when she found out about our engagement. Eventually, things calmed down, and although I didn't speak to either of them again, Lucas and his family resumed contact by taking baby steps. The incident I'm going to talk about happened at a family gathering where Nikki and Jace were also invited. I knew that would be there, but decided to just ignore them. At the party, Nikki kept smirking at me the entire time. I didn't talk to her, but she did manage to talk to Lucas alone. I was talking to some cousins when I spotted Lucas and Nikki having an argument. It looked like it. While I had no intention of speaking to Nikki, I couldn't just walk away like that, so I stood there while she said to my husband, "I don't know what you even saw in this one, Lucas. You should have listened to me when I told you to break up with her." "Mind your own business, Nikki. You don't have the right to tell me to do anything." "You will remember my words when you eventually get tired of her. She's boring and frankly not even pretty. Plus, she may have just married you to get back at me." "Well, my wife isn't a disgusting person like you, so I don't agree with this statement of yours." "Oh, come on, Lucas. You should be happy that your sister married such a successful man. I feel bad for you because you ended up with old goods like her." I was extremely offended by what my sister-in-law said. She was being intentionally snarky and mean because that's what she had become. Or maybe she was always like that and hid her true self from me. Anyway, I ignored her trash talk, but Lucas was not happy with her at all. He was furious that she would talk about me like that, and he soon got into an argument with her. The argument started to get heated and my husband started to look really angry. I was getting a little concerned about him because his blood pressure spikes when he is angry. So I quickly got him to go to the garden and calm down while I dealt with Nikki. She was smirking at me when I said, "You should learn some manners, Nikki. Talking crap about me to my own husband is not a good idea." "I'm just trying to save my brother from a bad marriage, Ella. Why are you getting so upset?" "I don't think a home wrecker like you should be giving advice to people, Nikki. I also don't know why you think that I won't make Lucas happy." "My brother deserves way better than a leftover woman like you, Ella. You are not a good candidate for him." "Then it's a good thing your brother isn't as shallow as you are. He is a good man and doesn't care about those things." "How does it matter? You can't keep a good man in your life anyway, Ella. Jace is such a great man, and you left him anyway." "I left him because he was cheating on me with you. Let me remind you in case you've forgotten it, Nikki." "There's no reason to blame me, Ella. A woman like you will never be able to keep a good man. You didn't take proper care of him or be the ideal wife. That's why he has cheated on you. Poor Jace wasn't getting enough love and care from his wife, and I was there for him. That's why he came to me. He knew I was way better than you." "Wow, you do know how to victim blame, Nikki. I didn't know that you had turned into a worse person than before. It's really funny that I considered you a very good friend of mine. Maybe you and Jace do deserve each other." Nikki started to laugh at me when I said that. I had no idea what was up with this woman because I had no interest in talking to her. She was the one who approached us and started to say some snarky things about me right in front of my husband. It was just bizarre, and I didn't know what to say. Lucas looked a little irritated and embarrassed, but didn't want to make a scene at his family event. People were still out of earshot, so they didn't notice what was going on here. Jace was talking to one of the cousins and wasn't paying attention either. I have to say that he was smart enough to stay away from us, but apparently his stupid wife didn't take the hint. She said, "My God, you are so jealous of me, Ella. It really shows. I feel bad for my poor brother." Oh, please, Nicky. I have no interest in that excuse of a man. He has got nothing on Lucas, who is a far better man than Jace will ever be. I know my brother's a good man, but he's nowhere near as rich as my husband. He can't match Jace's wealth no matter how much he tries. That must be making you jealous, Ella. How many times do I need to tell you that I am not interested in your husband? Been there, done that, and didn't enjoy the experience at all. It's okay. It's normal to be jealous that I married your rich ex-husband, Ella. You know I am a way better fit for him. You always looked wrong with him. I am a much better wife for him, and he doesn't forget to remind me of that every day. I'm sure he's very nice to you, Nicky. Good for you. I don't see how it is any of my business. You look so mad right now, Ella. I know hearing about all this is hurting you and making you jealous, but you have to accept the truth. Jace loves me more than you. He actually didn't even make me sign a prenup as he did with you. You know, he even got me 3 houses. Can you imagine that? Now this is where I started to feel a little suspicious. I knew that Nicky kept saying how Jace was a rich man. I suppose you could say that he was rich, but when we were divorcing, I was notified that Jace had a ton of debt. It was a combination of college debt, credit card debt, and medical bills that were made in his name. Jace didn't earn a lot, but he was drowning in debt. Whatever money he had was actually spent on the divorce, and that's why he had agreed to give me the full ownership of the 3 houses as a part of the divorce settlement. While it was true that I didn't get any cash, I did get those houses in my name. The prenup saved me and worked in my favor. Maybe that's why Jace didn't sign one with Nicky. I knew at this point that my sister-in-law was probably very ignorant about her husband's finances. I said, I actually cannot imagine that, Nicky. 3 houses is a lot of money. Oh, well, for you it might be, but it's not for him. You know how rich he is, right? Hard to tell, Nicky. We weren't exactly living like rich people when we were married. He just didn't think you were worthy of being pampered, but he takes such good care of me. He has promised to transfer 3 of his houses to me very soon. You should take a look at them. They're so beautiful. Nicky then proceeded to show me pictures of houses. Now, here is when I realized something hilarious. The houses that Nicky was showing me were actually the 3 houses that I had got in the divorce. Now, these houses were not owned by Jace alone. It was owned by Jace, but my name was added on the deed too when I spent my money renovating and furnishing it. Jace didn't have the money to buy me out in the divorce or pay alimony, so he had to give up those 3 houses as compensation. He gave us a hard fight when this deal was proposed because he didn't want to give up his best assets. But he gave in when he realized that paying alimony would be more expensive in the long run anyway. I was also more inclined to get anything in lump sum because I didn't want to be tied to that horrible man any more than necessary. So I was the owner of those houses that Nicky was showing me. I don't know if she was lying or if my ex had really promised to hand over those houses where he still has his imaginary ownership. What I did know was that Nicky was trying to make me feel jealous, but had instead given me a chance to get back at her for what she did to me. That very idea made me laugh out loud, much to her shock and confusion. She looked at me weirdly and said, "Why on earth are you laughing? Did I say a joke?" "I think you did really tell me a joke, Nicky. There is no way Jace told you that he would hand over those houses to you." "I knew it, Ella. I knew you would be jealous and think that I was making all this up." "You have to be making this all up, Nicky. There is no way Jace could give those houses to you." You are just saying that because you're jealous. I bet you it is making you mad to see that Jace is more committed to me and shares his riches with me as well. It was clear to me that Nikki was doing all this just to make me feel jealous. She was intentionally pushing my buttons to see if I still felt jealous of her because she stole my husband from me. I guess she saw this as an achievement and wanted to rub it in my face. Too bad she was unable to do that. I had no feelings for my ex and was glad that I got rid of him. So I said, I don't know what riches he shares with you, Nikki. I don't even care. But I do know that he cannot share or give you those houses. Why not? Those houses might be expensive, but he loves me so much that he doesn't care about the money. Oh, you poor thing, Nikki. Jace can't give you those houses, my dear. He is not even the real owner of those mansions. What? No, he is the owner of those mansions. I knew about it because you told me about these properties when we were married. That I did, Nikki. Then you decided to steal my husband so that you could have that wealthy life for yourself. Great plan, but I don't think it will turn out the way you want. Jace used to own those mansions, but not anymore. What? But then who owns those mansions? You were talking to the owner of those mansions, Nikki. Nikki's eyes went wide when I said that. My dear sister-in-law was in pure disbelief. She looked at me shocked, as if I had said pigs could fly. The woman had really put her hopes on getting the house for herself and telling everyone what a rich husband she had. Well, she has been duped. She got scammed while trying to scam me. Anyway, this mad woman still didn't get the clue and said, That is impossible, Ella. You're lying. You can't be the owner of those mansions. Why not, Nikki? I don't care if it seems impossible to you. I am telling you what's true. No, this can't be right. How did you get the ownership of these mansions? Well, it was a part of our divorce settlement. I got to keep the houses while he got to walk away with his savings and no alimony. But then why did he tell me that he owns the house and will transfer those properties to me? You have been duped, Nikki. He has been lying to you. I still don't believe you. I'll call him over and ask him right now. I had no intention of conversing with that man again, but this was a special situation where I would see karma playing the two people who thought it would be a great idea to betray me. Nikki was acting crazy, so I didn't know if I could avoid her drama in the first place. I was pretty sure that if I had walked away, she would have created a bigger scene and harassed me like a lunatic. So I stayed put and watched Nikki drag my ex-husband to me. She then said to him, What is Ella saying, Jace? She's claiming that those 3 mansions you promised me belong to her. Tell her what a liar she is. I'm surprised that you still think I'm lying, Nikki. I don't have the energy to make up stories for you. You don't even deserve my lies. Shut up. You are avoiding the topic because you know you lied. Jace, honey, tell her what a liar she is. Those mansions are yours and you will give them to me, right? Jace looked like a deer caught in headlights. Out of all things, he hadn't considered having this conversation with the two of us, and for some reason he probably didn't think his secrets would come out. Judging by Jace's reaction, he had definitely lied to his wife and told her that he owned those places. I smiled at him and said, I think you should answer that truthfully, Jace. I have no idea why you're going around telling your wife that you own those houses. You and I both know that is not true. I just... Yeah, honey, tell us that she's lying. I know you didn't lie to me. Well, she's not lying, actually. The look on Nikki's face as she heard that was absolute gold. She had an extremely surprised face and had no way to cover up her extreme disbelief. My ex was just looking everywhere but us. He was probably embarrassed about getting caught and knowing what tantrums Nikki can throw when she's upset. Nikki was now fuming and said, "What? So it's true? You gave Nikki 3 of your houses in the divorce?" "Yeah, I had to, Nikki. It was the best way to settle the divorce for me." "Why did you lie to me, Jace? Why did you promise me something knowing that you couldn't give it to me?" "You kept pressing the issue and telling me that I should give you those mansions and all. I knew you would freak out when you found out that I literally don't have much now." "You lied to me and duped me, Jace. How could you do that?" "You have some nerve telling me this, Nikki. You married me for money and made me cheat on my wife so that I would leave her. Now I know very well that you are nothing but a gold digger." Nikki started to scream and yell at Jace. They literally started to fight at the party, and everyone's attention was on them now. The two fought like kids while I stood there and saw it all. I explained to my husband what had gone down, and he laughed his butt off when he heard the full story. Nikki and Jace got so bad that eventually they were kicked out of the party. A few weeks later, Lucas told me that my sister-in-law was getting a divorce from Jace. Apparently, they never stopped fighting after that day, and Nikki finally realized the full story of Jace's financial situation. She was livid that he portrayed himself to be a rich man when he was neck-deep in debt. She was also mad about the fact that he gave me those mansions which she had dreamed of owning. Jace was just mad that Nikki married him for money and was now divorcing him for it. But Nikki was adamant that they would get a divorce. You want to know the best part about this? Nikki ended up with a lot of Jace's debts. All the debts that were collected in their 4 years of marriage were split 50-50 between Jace and Nikki as per the law. Nikki had thought that she had married my rich boyfriend who was taking care of her, but in reality, she was just collecting debts for her future. All the money that Jace had spent on her is now being paid by Nikki. I guess karma did come for her really bad. Jace wasn't spared as well. He lost the woman he left me for and realized that he should have stuck with me. He tried to call me and tell me to get back with him because no one would love him like me. Too bad. I am not a cheater like him and have no interest in leaving my amazing husband who is 10 times better than him. Lucas and I have decided to permanently go no contact with Nikki because her behavior towards me. Yes, I did put her in her place, but that doesn't mean what she did will be forgiven so easily. She is a nasty human being, and neither Lucas nor I want anything to do with her. So we cut contact with her and went about our way. We rarely see her at family gatherings anymore, since a lot of people have started not to invite her because of her drama. Now that she is single again, some cousins have this fear that she would come after their husbands just like she did with mine. I would say that it's better for them to take precautions because she has clearly proven herself to be untrustworthy. Anyway, Nikki tried to mess with me and got some real karma for her actions that day.